is up, Twitch, and welcome to the Raise Plays Radio Show. Welcome in. Easy Money 5150 in the house, all the way from California, in Louisiana at this time. Our guest is from Louisiana, so Louisiana, the NOLA is going to be big in the show tonight. NOLA's representing tonight. Welcome to the Raise Plays Radio Show. We have another amazing show for you tonight. This show's about passion. If you've never seen the show before, usually we're DJing here all the time, but a lot of times we bring on people who are passionate about something, whether it's a guitar playing, whether it's cooking, whether it's business, whether it's beekeeping, like my friend on the show today, or photography. My friend that's coming on tonight is amazing. He's got a lot of amazing talents that we're going to see tonight. A couple announcements. September is going to be a hot week, hot month for the Raise Plays Radio Show. Shelby Knight coming in. Shelby Knight and Danny Boy right now working on a new remix of the song Galaxies. You heard Galaxies when Shelby Knight was on the show before. Amazing song. Think about Shelby Knight's beautiful voice, beautiful arrangements, and then putting on top some Danny Boy flavor on there, some bars by Danny Boy. You can imagine my favorite rapper, my favorite singer coming in the studio. Actually, Shelby Knight is all the way from Northern California. She's driving in to see us live. She's driving in to be on the Raise Plays Radio Show with Danny Boy. They'll be here actually at the end of this month, August 31st, because the album comes out in September, or the song comes out in September. So they'll actually be in studio August 31st, ready for the September launch. And then also in September, Batch Records will be coming out with a new album, J3 to the Eases. Joseph is going to be on the track. Danny Boy's on the track. Bravo, of course, and The Prophecy. All those guys on a new whole full-length album coming out in September. Guess whose show they're going to be on first? The Raise Plays Radio Show. So you came to the right place, my friends, for excitement and passion. The show is the Raise Plays Radio Show. On today's show, my friend Mike joins us. I love having Mike on the show. He is a fellow YouTuber with almost 300 subscribers on YouTube, just like me. We're just over 300. We're just like Mike, trying to make it happen on YouTube, and it's crazy. Oh yes. Oh, holy moly, we got a raid right off the bat. Holy moly, Ramon Works with 4. What is up, Ramon Works? Holy moly, Ramon Works, amazing streamer. If you're not following Ramon Works, make sure you follow Ramon Works. Thank you for coming in. Sandra Jin in the house. Sandra is back in the house. Sandra Jin in the house. What is up? Welcome in, streamers. Welcome in, raiders. Raid! Holy moly. Raid them up. Welcome in. Painting Polish in the house. Sandra Jin in the house. What is up? What is up? Holy moly. If you've never seen the show's about passion. Whether you're a guitar player, a businessman, you're into dogs. You can hear the dogs in the background. Holy moly. Juice gang. You're here. You're finally here. It's going to be crazy. We got Mike coming on the show. Almost 300 subscribers on YouTube. This guy does all kinds of crazy stuff. He's a California boy, moved out to New Orleans, moved out to Louisiana in the swamplands there. He's been on the show before. He told us his whole story about how he moved, why he moved, how he helped the people of New Orleans when the floods happened. He moved out there to help his mom, his second mom. He's out there with his boy Easy Money. Easy Money just followed us. Easy Money 5150 just followed us. So we got some new Juice Gang members in the house. People from New Orleans are representing here this beautiful evening. Mike is an amazing photographer as well as a beekeeper and product specialist. He is amazing. Let me if you don't remember him, let me show you, play a little video for you, a little review of Mike in action. Here's the warning, and there's the video. This is what it looks like in Louisiana.
Basically the end of last year. This was the end of summer 2023.
That is a real beekeeping suit. Can you believe that? You don't see that around here.
Really hot. We had a really hot, dry summer. It got up to about 114 and just sat there for weeks. But, at some point, you got to do what you got to do. So, I suited up and decided to give the bees one last check. Been meaning to make this video like forever and a day, so sorry to everybody that's
Holy
waiting
crap.
on this, but there's lots more coming right after
A box OBs. That is some scary stuff right there.
this. Anyway,
Holy
a
moly.
couple random old bugs crawling up there. I was kind of surprised. They were
Oh,
not
thank God he has the suit on. He's about to get into the bees. Holy moly, holy moly. There you go. So if you remember Mike, that's what he does. That's one of the things he does. Please help me welcome to the show, Mr. Mike. What is up, my boy? How you doing?
Not bad, not bad. Yeah. Same as always, burning a candle at both ends, in the middle, and sometimes just throwing it into the fire entirely. Why not?
Heck yeah, man. I appreciate you. I know it's late night there in Louisiana. Plus, it's perfect for you. You're just getting off of work, so you're probably burnt. You work at a restaurant there in New Orleans, right?
Yeah, I got 4 jobs technically, because yeah,
Four in
like
one
trying
day?
to start your own company. Occasionally, pretty rarely, but yeah, trying to start your own production company and all that is definitely not all it's cracked up to be when you got bills to pay. So yeah, this week it's restaurant at night, slinging the mistakes and all that kind of good stuff, and
Are you cooking at the restaurant?
mostly construction in the day. Yeah.
You're the cook.
Yep, I am one of the cooks over there, one of the line cooks. Work under a pretty cool dude, Chef Alex.
Nice.
I only say pretty cool dude because I'm hoping he's watching this right now, and
Yeah,
he's waiting for the upgrade to awesome after he gives me a steak.
yeah. You don't want
But
to. You don't want to end up washing dishes over there. So you gotta be good.
Right.
Crazy, man. We got to do a show where you're actually showing us how to cook something. We're like, where we stream in and you actually show us how to cook something from the kitchen. That'd be amazing.
You want to know? I had an idea that I thought might be right in your ballpark about that. Like I said, I work under this dude, Chef Alex, and Alex is a cool guy. So I was thinking at some point, because I've been dabbling more in like TikTok and trying to get back into YouTube. I'm working a lot, so I'm sort of failing at sitting down to edit videos. But
Oh yeah.
I've been thinking about either going live in the kitchen there, just kind of running live for like an hour out there, something like that.
Dude, you should.
But it'd be kind of neat maybe if I could get over there and figure out a way to go live like with you and get you in front of somebody like Chef Alex, because like I'm a cook, right?
Yeah.
Like you put it in front of me, I know what I'm doing, I can cook it. You want to see like masterpieces come out, you need somebody like Chef.
Dude, that's perfect. Yeah, we gotta have Chef Alex get involved here, and just like this, now you have a Twitch account, so you can watch Twitch. You can now stream on Twitch, and you have all the stuff because you're into photography. You have all the stuff, so wherever you point that camera, it's gonna work. So whether you're in your house at the kitchen, or whether you're on the phone with your phone and you're in the kitchen of the restaurant, there's so many ways we can go about it, bro. There's so many different ideas that we can come up with, and just like this, the way we're streaming together, and then but I'll send myself over to the kitchen, and they'll be able to see me in my kitchen, and then they'll be able to see you in your kitchen, and you just tell us, Alex will tell us, this is what you do. These are the ingredients. We lay out all the ingredients. These are the ingredients you need. And then we go step by step, and he shows us how to cook something. Obviously it's going to be a trip because of the time difference, but it would, it'd have to be, it might have to be on the weekend or something like that.
Well, you never know. I mean, we have certain days that are a little slower than others where I might be able to talk him into it. So
there you go.
We'll have to stay in touch on that one, and I'll find a way to talk him into it.
Yeah, there's so many things we can do. Even if he's like, if I'm not even like that's one idea. Like cooking together, we could be cooking together, or say, like you said, like one night's really slow at the restaurant, and then he's like oh Ray, I wanted to show you what I'm cooking right now, and then we just bring you guys in from the restaurant, and you're showing us like these new like these ribeye steaks that you just got in, and then check out these new look at the marbleization on the steak, and then you guys start like seasoning them up and stirring them out, just like some stuff like that, where we're just like visiting you too. That kind of stuff we can do. It's a lot.
I'm actually we're kind of waiting on it right now. We're working out something that's going to be like a pairing kind of dinner, right? So essentially, you're going to buy tickets for dinner. They're going to come in and they're going to get multiple courses. And we're doing this with another business over here, a small brewery over here locally, and like we're across the lake from New Orleans where all this is going on.
Nice.
So I'll be able to provide some details a bit later on, but yeah, we're going to be doing this pairing night over there. So restaurant's going to be closed down, just people that get the tickets for it. They're going to bring everything out, explain the pairings with, certain dishes versus, or not versus, but paired with, different beers. It should be a really cool night. And, I'll do the prep work that night. I'll do that kind of stuff. But when it comes time to really start getting rolling, I'm going to go ahead and, kick off the cooking hat, put on the uneducated entertainment hat, grab my camera, and I'm going to probably either run that live, or at very least I'm going to make a real nice video out of that.
Yeah, I was going to say,
that'll be interesting.
Because you have the YouTube channel too, you could just go live on YouTube. That's another thing you could do.
Yeah, I'm considering, because like I've never really thought about going live too much or doing this kind of thing, because it's not super conducive to the way I do a lot of videos. I'm reviewing stuff. I'm out there with the bees, which I went live with the bees on TikTok like a week ago. That was actually pretty cool.
Nice. It worked out good.
It's not something I'm used to yet. I more throw a bunch of jokes and things like that into whatever I'm reviewing or talking about.
Yeah.
You can't really do that live the way I generally do it. So I'm just getting into this swing
it
of
takes
things
to get used to, because you're a guy that like films solid videos where there's a start, there's intro, this is it. I'm a guy that I'm ADHD. I'm like, so actually trying to film something is worse for me than trying to do live. I can do live all day because it's just all spur of the moment. It's all off the cuff and different things.
Yeah.
That's my forte. But trying to film something, it drives me nuts to sit myself down in the kitchen and try to cook something and do it in a direction and in an orderly fashion, or trying to even restaurant reviews sometimes are tough for me. I just keep it simple, because I can't stay still. I'm just constantly going like crazy.
Yeah.
Out of control.
I know what you mean. It's like I got a million ideas floating right now. I got a ton of videos sitting in the pipeline, and honestly, it's just one of those things where I gotta scrape myself out the time again to like do the last probably half hour worth of work on the next YouTube video, do the next 10 minutes worth of work on the next TikTok video, and somewhere in between that, I'm gonna have to find time to actually break out and go do some more photography, because we're getting into certain seasons out here where I might get lucky again, catch some more rare animals that you don't see a lot. So I like to get my nature photography on. Plus, it won't be so hot out here, so I may not die trying to walk from the car to the house.
Well, let's show everybody some of your photography, what you're talking about, some of your nature stuff. These are the type of animals that we don't have here. This right here is an alligator. We don't have this here. I don't think we have this in California. Do we? If we do, put it in the chat. I don't think this is Florida. This is New Orleans type stuff. We don't have these alligators like swimming in our lakes over here. This is crazy.
Yeah, it takes a while to get used to that kind of stuff, because like I live in the swamp,
in the swamp.
Yeah, so realistically, I could jog down the street right now and be at the river. I just really don't want to drag all this camera crap in the dark. But the point being, yeah, like there's always like snakes in my yard or alligators down the street. My girl, she runs a kayak tour business out here. So we take
What?
people out in the swamp. Like, she grew up here.
Wait a minute.
She is.
You're supposed to stay out of that. I just showed alligators. There's another thing. I want to show you guys something else. Check this out. There's another thing I saw here. Wife, I hope you're not watching this. Look at this. My wife is terrified of snakes. She would be. She's probably dying if she's seen this. There's snakes in there. There's alligators in there.
Which one you're showing?
It's a picture of like a snake just coiled and like ready to like bite you, like right in your camera. I don't even know how you must have zoomed in on this thing or something like that.
Yeah, depending on what kind it is. Like, you'd be surprised. There's only a couple of venomous ones out here.
Only a couple.
I mean, I grew up doing crazy stuff with my family, like out towards the desert, things like that. I'd caught rattlesnakes when I was a little kid because one of my uncles is a wee bit thrown off and thought that would be a good survival technique for an 8-year-old. But yeah, so
when you say he's a wee bit thrown out, he's a little loose in the goose there, a little crazy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Nice. I love that.
I mean, it worked out since I ended up out here all these years later. So yeah, some of those things, like, you just run up, grab them with your hands, assuming you're fast enough to get a hold of them.
Holy
There's
moly!
not a lot you see right here that can legitimately hurt you.
Okay, so
But, I
that's
mean,
why
that's
you're
half
not
the
too
point.
afraid to go out in the dark and stuff like that.
Yeah, like, I'm not. There's very little out here that I am concerned about. Like, I don't want to get anybody on trouble on this platform since I don't know anything about it. But let's just say I have what's a clever term? Force multipliers
Yes.
that give me the advantage over things that don't have like thumbs and
I know what you're talking about. Yes, you can't say that on stream. Yes, I know what you're saying.
because you can do that in Louisiana.
You can have those. You can have as many as you want in Louisiana. You can shoot them off. I mean, do that type of thing. Sound going that way.
A bunch of videos for that going on my YouTube channel very soon.
Oh, for reals?
I'm gonna start the range day collection basically. So whenever we go
that's
out,
awesome.
I'm gonna try to pick up, maybe either another good friend. You never know who you're gonna bump into out there, man. Like, you could bump into one of these sheriffs or retired or just not currently active duty military out there. They'll be like, "Hey, man, you ever shot a 50 cal?" And you're like, "No."
Holy moly!
And I mean, this is just how it is.
There you go.
So
you can have like the Hickok. Have you seen that Hickok channel on YouTube?
No.
I think his name's like Hickok 55 or something like that. And he's awesome. He has a lot of those multipliers. Gizzard Drive for Ev. Is there some myth about alligators we don't know about? That's what they want to know. Is there some myth about alligators we don't know about? We are told if they see you, they are going to try and eat you. How is he not afraid of them? Yeah. Let's start there. Like, how often do you see alligators out there?
Like in the springtime, all the time, and depending on where exactly I go, all the time. There are more alligators in Louisiana than there are in Florida or Georgia or Alabama or
Holy
Mississippi.
moly!
We have the most alligators, period. Like, they're everywhere out here. That being said, no, they really aren't like aggressive. It's once you get used to how they act, it's about as easy to figure out if an alligator is, for some odd reason, going to be aggressive as it is to figure out like if a dog's aggressive. So like, if the dog's growling at you, you probably shouldn't wander over there and try to pet it. If a large alligator is coming wandering in your general direction, you just paddle the other way and they will stop. And it's only certain times a year that'll even happen because they're like defending a nest or happens to be like big mating time. But we know all that stuff. When you live out here, you know that stuff, so you know what to look for.
And that's
right where we do our kayak tours isn't really good for nests, so not a big deal here.
What was that?
Like right where we do the kayak tours, right here by my house, it's just not a great area for nests. Our water levels go up or down 3 feet in 24 hours, like regularly. So they
Okay.
try not to nest there because they can either get drowned or be left high and dry and, dry out and die. So
The
we
levels aren't
don't really
consistent there.
nest in a lot of places here, so we don't have to worry about that much.
That's awesome. Yeah, like what is it? GZDR forever. Geezer, I don't know how to pronounce GZDR forever says, like, I thought the same thing, bro. I thought the same thing because I was listening to a podcast the other day. It's called like it's one of those podcasts where they talk about like when like today they were talking about some guys that got trapped in an avalanche, or there's a episode where these guys are in a plane crash and they land in the middle of nowhere. Or there's an episode where these guys in Australia, they trek across this big desert in Australia, and they're supposed to meet this boat that's going to pick them up on the other side of the island, whatever side of on the other side of Australia somewhere, and then in this little lagoon area, and they end up getting there too soon, and which they're like, okay, cool. Well, we're a little early. The boat's going to be here in like 4 or 5 days. We'll be fine. But the problem is as they start, running out of rations of food, getting sick of eating coconuts all day, and they started fishing and getting fish out of the ocean. They were so starving. It was more than a few days that they were stuck there, and they couldn't survive on the fish because supposedly if you eat too much, even if you eat, you can't just eat fish all day, like it's not enough protein or whatever. These guys in this little cove, there was these saltwater alligators, and they were all inside the water. And so I don't know if they're different than the ones you guys have over there, but these type, they will just wait and then jump out and grab you and bring you down. Those ones are like more, they're more aggressive. They're more known for like attacking people and just like, they're just like predators, like super hunters or something like that. I don't know if saltwater alligators are different.
Those are crocodiles.
Crocodiles, so, okay, that's why.
Yeah. Okay. And those are probably, like, from what I know, I've never been anywhere really where, well, not where saltwater crocodiles are, but they're supposed to be pretty much the most aggressive, the biggest. So those things wreck people if they can, because their main thing, like when they get big, their main food, from what I understand, is like trying to grab pigs, kangaroos. They're trying to grab big stuff that's hanging out, like trying to drink from the edge of the water.
They need weight in their belly.
Yeah, like they're after mammals, you know what I'm saying? Damn. Like they're after big things. So over here in Louisiana, we have just the American alligator. Now they get pretty big, like they can get up to like 15, 16 feet, but realistically, they don't want to fight something. Like if it's a real good situation, they'll snatch a deer, or like one of these wild boars. Like they're not supposed to be here, they're not from here, but they'll snatch one of those if it's a perfect situation and they don't have to fight. If they can just pull it in and drown it real quick, they might take one. But otherwise, they don't want to risk it because they can die if they fight too long. Right. Something builds up in their blood, I guess, kills them. But even when they're huge, they eat fish, they eat turtles, they eat big snakes that are swimming across the swamp. That's what they eat. They don't really look for their food outside the water. Holy
moly. So that's probably the big difference between alligators and crocodiles. The crocodile's more aggressive. It's going to try to attack you, where the alligator's just trying to survive on smaller animals and different things like that. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. No, I mean, sometimes smaller. I mean, there's like 100-pound catfish back here in the swamp behind my house.
Ooh, dang. So
there's probably like 80-pound turtles back here. I mean, these things are like massive,
And they're sucking them down.
Yeah, there's a whole crazy ecosystem cracking off back there. But I mean, there's also tons of stuff out there for us to eat. Like at some point, I'm gonna get her to make a video on her foraging, but Yeah, my girl could probably just wander off in the swamp out here and come back with more stuff than I can afford to buy from the grocery store right now. I mean,
Wow.
everything, grapes and mushrooms, and there's
Wild grapes?
literally, bro, there's marshmallows out here. It's like the flower, and you take the root, and that's what you make marshmallow out of.
Holy moly, the unprocessed. We
So,
have no in Cal. We have no. I thought those things were like processed in a laboratory. So you're
so
telling
did
me it comes from
I.
flower, a plant?
I mean, I guess you like grind. I guess you have to like grind up the root or something, but like that's what makes like marshmallow.
Holy
And
crap,
I'm like,
marshmallow!
so technically, there's like 1/3 of a s'more just growing in the swamp out here.
All you
Like,
is
I
some
need to find like a
crackers.
graham cracker bush,
Yeah, just a graham cracker bush, exactly. Just get the
right?
graham
Like,
cracker bush together with the marshmallow bush, and you got yourself a s'more and some chocolate.
I'll make it work.
Holy moly. Dang, dude, that's crazy. So you're doing a lot of photography, a lot of nature stuff, but you also do. Let me show them this as well. You also do these beautiful, modeling shots. Like you get calls. You often get calls for like modeling agencies and stuff like that that hire you.
Actually, I had never had any interest whatsoever in doing like runways and like professional models and things like that.
Yeah,
And a friend of ours that has another production company, White Donut Productions,
White Donut.
like, yeah,
I love the name.
it's yeah. I mean, the dude's super talented, like knows so much. I look at the guy as kind of a mentor for the bigger aspects of the business that I'm trying to build here.
Well, damn, your
And
pictures are beautiful. Your photos are amazing.
yeah, I mean, hey, that's Kay shot him right there, man. Like that's the one that forced me to kind of suck it up and learn what I was actually doing with them.
Oh, okay, shot and push you, right?
But, oh yeah, but oddly enough, buddy Dylan from White Donut, he got me in to basically just be a camera operator. He needed another guy. He'd done a little video for us with a drone, for the kayak company, which was awesome. It was amazing. And he
Dang.
had me come down there and do one of these model shoots. And it was like for a charity thing. And I had so much fun just clowning with everybody, backstage and all that. And just, the rest of the guys working for him. We're running around like crazy with cameras, just bouncing off the walls. And it was a ton of fun, and it somehow led me to meeting all these other people. So now there's a few, studios and agencies out here, like Chic Novell out here in New Orleans is a big
Whoa.
one that invites me a lot to just come in and basically have free reign. Come in, do what I want, take my shots, and they're amazing. So how can you turn it down when you have all these people that know like exactly what they want to do, exactly how they want to look, and all I got to do is stand in the right spot? That's
Yeah,
too
that's
much fun.
you make it sound easy. I know there's a lot more to that. To take these pictures, I mean, you've got some incredible talent. Yeah, Kay shot them will push you to the next level. Anything you do, you talk to that guy, will definitely push you to get to the next level. So he's definitely gotten you on the right track. But you just have an eye for photography, man. This is amazing. How do you do so I'm looking at, I know you can't see, we're looking at your Instagram and we're looking at the shot of the guy with the girl. It's just it's a nice still shot, and then some of your still shots. But then I go to your other like your reels where like the Ramon will probably know what the heck how you're doing this, but where it like moves. Is that CapCut, or is it something that you're doing with the
If it's the one that I think where it kind of looks like I'm changing perspective a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like the camera's moving,
Yeah.
but the subject is kind of just still.
Yeah, that's all just editing CapCut.
Okay, cool. It looks sick, dude. It looks like
Snapseed, like. Yeah, I went kind of nuts with that one, assuming it's the pictures I'm pretty sure that you're looking at right now. But I went a little nuts with that one because it was kind of last minute for me. I was so busy with other stuff. I didn't really use the time that I wanted.
yeah.
Like all of those models, if it's the one that looks like it's, you know, more like by the beach,
Yep,
outdoors,
on the
all
rocks,
that.
by the ocean.
Right.
Dude with the
Yeah,
bandana on a
yeah.
like a pier type thing.
Yeah, like they were amazing. Every one of those models that was out there, I mean, knew their stuff, knew exactly what to do, and I
Nice.
was so divided in my attentions that day that I really didn't take advantage as I should have. I could have got a lot more really good shots, but I was tired, man. I was really tired. But even being tired and dealing with all that, like I said, they're so good at what they do. It's like all I had to do was make sure that my camera was pointed at them, and that was about it.
Camera point shoot, right? Holy moly! Yeah, I think the CapCut just makes the some also the CapCut gives it kind of like that sharpness on the colors and stuff like that too. Seems to like do that too.
Well, I do a lot of other editing, you know, with like things like Snapseed and such before loading it up on CapCut. Like,
Oh, there you go. Yeah, because it
I had
looks sharp.
yeah, I had just started doing TikTok when I had that shoot. So I was really trying to get myself back in the flow of just everything on video, you know, everything is content. And I ended up downloading CapCut, and that was essentially me just playing with it for the first time. Was that whole like series, like anything that's not just a standard picture, anything other than that is me just trying to see what CapCut could do, because I'd never had it before, never had TikTok before, and I was surprised.
Nice.
Like it blew up my TikTok pretty fast.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, dude, you weren't doing when you were last on the show. You weren't doing all. I mean, you were taking photos, you were taking modeling stuff, but yeah, to get into the next level of like social media aspect, trying to put out reels and trying to, have CapCut move things around for you and stuff like that. That's a whole nother level for you.
Oh yeah, it's fun, you know. Like it's just that quick little thing you can do on your phone, and you know, handle it while you're out walking around doing what you're doing, taking your pictures. I still prefer sitting down here, you know, in the studio and kind of taking my time and doing everything as meticulously as I can. But at least this gets me motion, you know. It's rough knowing I got all these videos and pictures to edit still, and I just can't seem to pull the time out to do it. But you know, you strike while the iron is hot, and right
Hell
now I
yeah.
just have a few too many opportunities. Like I think my last 3 or 4 videos actually on TikTok have been my day job versus my night job right now, because it's so hot. Kayaking is just not really moving. And
Which is the day job? What's the day job?
the day job right now has been construction.
Oh wow, okay, crazy,
So
crazy.
for like the last 3 weeks, we've been building a deck for an above ground pool for this guy. And yeah, man, it's been like 115 degrees out
Holy
here.
moly! And you're working
So
that
I'm pulling
heat.
like half days, and then you know, get done with that, run home, take a shower, you know, head out to the restaurant and work the night, get up early the next morning, go back over, try to like do as much as I can on that. So that's been fun, but that particular job at least is coming to an end probably tomorrow or the next day or maybe Monday. But
Holy moly!
it's a lot.
You're working in the heat all day long, and then you get a little break and you go to the restaurant right away.
Yep.
Damn it! And
Straight to the restaurant.
the restaurant closes late. It was like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock over there, or something like that, huh?
Yeah, I think what's tonight? Tuesday? No, tonight's Wednesday. So yeah, we closed at 9. And you know how restaurants are, man. He comes in at like 2 minutes to close. Hey, let me get like 17 things you just put away.
Holy,
So you gotta
oh
like, you know,
jeez.
clean up everything and do all that. But not a big deal. You get used to it. But still, I was cruising home pretty quick, trying to make sure I got here in time for this.
Nice. Well, I appreciate it, man. That's freaking awesome. You must be beat. Crazy, crazy.
Oh yeah. A little tired, but I wouldn't miss it, man. It was too much fun last time. I couldn't wait to get back on here with you.
Hell yeah, appreciate it, man. Awesome. And then also you've been getting back into the bees.
Yep, just harvested, man, like maybe 3 gallons of honey out of my first real attempt to harvest.
Holy, 3 gallons, a lot.
That was cool. Yeah, I got a 5-gallon bucket sitting in the kitchen right now with all these like filter screens on it to get any debris out of it, and it's pretty full, and it's driven me kind of nuts because I'm like, I love honey.
Yeah,
That's a lot of honey.
you're never gonna go through it, right? 3 gallons is a lot. Are you gonna sell it?
And actually, I went and ordered myself a mead kit. So what I think I'm gonna do is I might
make some beer.
maybe 2 gallons of mead. Never done it before. I don't really drink very much, like very rarely. But I figured, screw it. I got a bunch of honey. I'll make mead. Why not? So there's more content coming up.
And mead is like a
possibly.
beer, right? Like an old fashioned beer.
Yeah, it's kind of like what the guys say, like it's closer, I guess, to an ale than a beer, which I don't exactly know what that means, but yeah, it's basically like a beer that's not really like carbonated.
Yeah, like heavy malted or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think so. It's crazy.
It's just like honey, water, yeast, like that's it. And it will eventually get somewhere between like a beer and a wine, I guess. And,
crazy.
I can tune it out to be higher alcohol content, lower alcohol content.
Dang.
Apparently, they used to make some of this stuff like hundreds of years ago that like you could give like a kid, a couple of cups of mead and, wouldn't even like get a kid drunk because basically it was just boiled water that was sweet.
It was just the water was so bad back in the day they couldn't drink water, so they had to drink this stuff, I think.
Exactly.
Crazy.
It's kind of sad when you got to be like, the boy's 7, he can get wasted. Better die of cholera or whatever it was that happened before.
Get him, turn him into an alky. At least he's not going to die of cholera.
Just belligerent toddlers just stumbling around, yelling at people.
They're whacking people with his rattler. He's like, give me more mead. Right. It's because of meat addict.
Waking up under the carriage.
Nice.
But yeah, I'll run some mead with it. I might even take some of it to the restaurant because I mean it's literally as organic as it can get. That's yet another video that is waiting on my final edits and everything. I did the whole harvest process.
Yeah, we're showing
did it live on TikTok, and I made a video for so. Yeah,
there's a TikTok on here that says found the queen off camera, but got her in the hive already. Crazy.
Oh, okay. That is actually an entirely different hive. I gotta go.
It says you got like a new hive box or something like that.
Honey. I was contacted through Facebook, or kind of stumbled into this through Facebook, but it was a lady that really just needed bees removed from an old trailer on her property because she was like cutting the grass and they came and lit her up. So I was like, all right, I'll see. Yeah, like if you can see like the trailer where I've like cut the whole side off the thing.
Is that a trailer? I thought that was like an old piano or so. Oh, it is a trailer.
It's one of those pop-up.
Yeah, the pop-up camper.
Yeah. And you want to talk about biting off more than you can chew? There was so many bees.
Is that what you're trying to pump that smoke?
Yeah.
To smoke them out?
I was just trying to get enough of them out of the way to even see the honeycomb. Like, there were just tens of thousands. That thing went back there like 2.5 feet. It was like 4 feet wide, hung off the roof like 2.5 feet down, and then was another big chunk behind another wall.
Oh, like chunks of bees all inside that thing?
I mean, like, it was just honeycomb.
Oh, they're making like honeycomb. Yeah.
Honeycomb. And the lady had never, like, she's always lived there. she's had that trailer sitting there for like 20 years. She's like, I was never going to do anything with it. And I was like, well, have you ever sprayed anything? She's like, no. And she was like, look around. She's got chickens and goats and all this. She's like, I don't let anybody spray anything anywhere near my property.
Oh
Like,
my
no, I
gosh.
absolutely will not. So I got in there, and there was a whole ton of like brand new comb way out front. It was beautiful. It was clean. So I took it out, checked it real close, and I was like, all right, I don't see any pests in it. I don't see any issue with it. So I harvested, the nice clean pieces I found, and I probably threw away 70 pounds, maybe 100 pounds of like honey and honeycomb.
Oh, there was
just
that
because
much?
I didn't trust it 100%. Like out in the wild like that, even with a strong hive, I didn't want to go harvesting a bunch of stuff that might have, wax moths or hive beetles.
Wax moths?
It's natural things that can show up in hives, but it's one of the things that bees usually control themselves.
Oh my gosh,
So-
dude! Yeah, I saw a bunch of honeycombs in there. So you're basically, I mean, there was a ton of honeycombs in there that she could have harvested. You were able to grab them and harvest them all. Took them out. Did you end up cleaning them all out, getting them all out of there? Dang.
Yep, she was actually allergic to bees, so it became super important for me to get them all out of there. So yeah, it took me like 2 days. She really just left that whole yard. Her yard is sectioned off in like 3 different, she has like a way backyard, which is where that was, and then another yard, and then like kind of the front yard. And she more or less just let the goats and the chickens run around in there, and only, I guess it was like a nephew or something would cut it from time to time, once or twice a year. But she just let the goats and the chickens kind of run around and keep the grass down.
This is just
So she
called
hadn't even
wild
been
out
out there in years.
She never
And
goes out
from
there and
what
just
I
leaves
saw,
it.
Yeah, never, or at least never right by that trailer. She was like, I've been out here a bunch of times, but I've never even noticed the bees. And when I went out there, I was like, yeah, I see them. There's a few coming in and out of this little broken light. And then I took some tin snips and cut the side open and peeled it back.
Oh.
And there was just millions of them.
So if you were to walk by, you wouldn't know. So you cut that hole in the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cut that
Dude,
whole
if you didn't do
side of that thing
no one would have
off.
ever known.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Like, had she not got 1 or 2 to come and sting her and almost send her to the hospital, then she wouldn't have known it was there either.
So that's
it
why
was
she ended up
nuts.
calling you, because a couple of them stung her?
Mm-hmm.
Dang,
Yeah,
she's allergic.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things, like, I had to tell her, like, I could definitely get them all out one way or the other, but I am not a professional, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a backyard beekeeper at the end of the day. So I'm no professional. I can't just do that. And there's a reason why professionals charge the amount of money they charge, is because they need insurance. They need, all these different things in case I have to cut a hole in your house or get up into your roof, and you get upset about that. But it's necessary to get them out of a lot of places. So
What did you do with the bees?
This was more of a neighbor thing. I actually, somewhere in that pile of videos is actually after I found the queen. I got her in the box because I bought a whole new hive box setup.
Yeah,
I set it on top, and towards the end of the video, you can actually see him walking out of there and streaming up into that hive box.
Dang.
And they just crawled in there to go find her. I took as much of the nice, clean, honeycomb that I could and stuck it in the hive. Rubber banded it into little frames, stuff that was full of like baby bees and eggs and larvae.
Crazy.
But they spent a couple days at my house, and then they just bailed.
So once you're able to get the queen and you put her in a box, they'll all follow her?
Yep.
Dang.
They
So
will all
every
just
single bee
march
that was
right
there
along.
went into that box.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it was super heavy whenever I picked it up to take it.
Really?
I was shocked at like the weight of the amount of bees that were in there.
You throw in
So
the back
when I
of the
came
truck?
back that evening, Yeah, well, I came back. I just ripped up a couple handfuls of grass and shoved it in the entrance to the hive and then put duct tape across it. The grass is just to keep the bees from getting stuck to the duct tape and dying. But I just shoved it in there, closed it up like that, drove it home, and put it next to my other already established hive. And they hung out for like a day or two, and
They took off.
I don't know. Either somewhere along the way of me moving things around, maybe I managed to squish the queen somehow, even though I had her in a little clip. Sometimes they can crawl out of those things. So I might have lost her, squished her, and not known it, or they might have just been like, okay, because I didn't know what to do. I let her out as soon as I like placed the hive. So I mean, I know she wasn't in the clip for very long. She was in there. I let her out, and like 2 days later, they were gone.
She might have took off too, and then they all just followed her.
Yeah, if she took off, that was it. They probably were hanging out in one of my trees for a day, and I didn't notice it, and then they took off.
Dang!
Found another hive.
What happens when you have another colony there at your house? What happens when you brought the other one? They don't trip out, and there's not like a war that goes on or anything like that.
No, they were about 3 or 4 feet away, and they just didn't seem to even really notice.
Oh,
I'm
that's
sure
cool.
some of the workers coming back probably accidentally go in the other hives from time to time, but I think it's one of those things like, well, you're bringing back the same thing anyway, so
Doesn't matter what department you drop it off at.
yeah, like just come drop it off and go do your thing, man. Like they don't care.
Crazy. What are you doing with the ones that you have, the colony that you have? Are you trying to weaponize them? Are you harvesting them for honey? What are you doing with yours?
So I'm slowly training them to go after anybody well versed in IRS documentation.
Nice. Yeah. You're droning them out. Yeah, thousands of little
Right.
drones.
I have them each filling out 1099s. Yeah. Basically, I don't have any real solid plans for them, honestly. They're almost meditative for me. Like when I actually have the time to go out there, now it's like every 2-3 weeks I can peel away for an hour and
It's just your
try to
hobby.
check on them. But yeah, like I like just sitting out there, like not even in the suit. I'd sit there and drink my morning coffee sometimes, like 2 feet from the entrance to the hive, just off to the side, and they fly right by me. And it's weirdly relaxing is the best way I can explain
And
it.
what do you want? Are they walking around in there? They're working. They're making honeycombs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, they're wandering around doing their thing. Like, I've got a couple videos that just shows, because unless you open it up, you can't really see what they're doing in there. But
Yeah.
they're like, I sit there in the mornings and they're just walking around on the entrance. You can see after a few minutes you recognize, oh, okay, those bees stay there, so they must be like guarding the entrance, and then everybody else is coming and going, and they leave without a bunch of pollen all over them, and they come back covered in yellow pollen and stuff like that. So it's
Wow.
weirdly relaxing to just watch them kind of do their random little thing, and knowing that you put a couple of frames up there for them, and 3 or 4 weeks later, you're doing what I did a couple weeks ago, just trying to drag 90 pounds of honey into your house.
Holy moly. Oh man, that's
Those things are
crazy.
So heavy.
And you mentioned the word frames. There's little frames that go inside those boxes. Is that correct?
Yep.
Have you seen that?
Exactly right.
I don't know if it was your YouTube channel or somebody's channel where the guy forgot to put the frames in, and then it and then the bees actually made this almost like a tunnel of hives, and I guess it's so that the air they know how to build them so that there's constant airflow through them and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're very slick about it, because essentially if the bees make all that honey and cap it up, if they don't actually bring the actual moisture content down to something like 18%, if they don't dry that honey out a little bit, it can actually start fermenting.
Ooh, so
So
it gets bad.
yeah, yes, you end up with tiny little capsules of really sour wine, sour meat or something.
Nasty.
So the bees are clever enough to be able to to vent things properly, which is another thing you'll see in videos. Like there'll be all these bees sitting right at the opening of the hive, and they're just standing there beating their wings. And people are like, well, why are they doing that? It's like they're actually moving air through the hive, either to cool it down or to help, evaporate some of that moisture out of the honey, which thickens it up and makes it into the honey we're used to.
They're just like flapping their wings like crazy by the entrance. Crazy.
And really, if you could, I wouldn't want to do it necessarily, but if you could like take the top off and put your face there, like you'd feel a little breeze. Like they move some air, because then the ones you can't see are inside and they're doing the same thing all through the hive. So you got 5, 8, 10,000 bees all working together to move that air and circulate it around in that hive, which is really important. Like I said, it's 115 degrees out here some days with the humidity and all that. So they definitely need some way to cool down.
Yeah, they're freaking smart. I mean, it's crazy that they have that airflow. The picture that I saw online, they had, it was almost like a maze of honeycombs. But then if you look at it from the very like high up, if you look right down at it, it was almost like the shape of like a heart. And then it was like, and they were the way the guy described it is like, it's almost like the heart, like the valves they have to flow through, and these bees made these kind of trails through this heart, and kind of like almost the way that the heart has like valves and stuff like that. It's a pretty interesting, it was a trippy picture. I wish I could find it, but it's on the online somewhere.
They do weird stuff, man.
Crazy.
Like, if left to their own devices, they'll just build all kinds of nonsense everywhere, and it's frustrating if you're a beekeeper, but if you're a bee, it works perfectly.
Crazy. Yeah, it's I mean, nature. Yeah, exactly. Like you said, if you leave nature to itself, it's the wonder of what it can do. It makes amazing wonders. Crazy. Oh, yeah. Last time you were on, it was like I think it was like last year sometime. You said there was like a shortage of bees. Is there still kind of that thing kind of happening as well, like an epidemic of dying bees and stuff like that?
I mean, from what I understand, there is still, fairly big problem with it. The common misconception, though, is that there is a shortage of honeybees specifically. Like, there's a ton of them. I mean, obviously we still need honeybees, but the bees that they're always bringing up as far as conservation are the bees that most people aren't even aware of. Like there are a ton of different kinds of bees that don't produce honey, but they do pollinate stuff. Things like bumblebees and carpenter bees, but there is just a ton of other kinds that I had no idea existed until I started talking to the guy who actually sold me my bees and has been sort of mentoring me in how to take care of them. He let me in on the whole fact that there's like 16 kinds of bees, I think, in Louisiana that I've never heard of. To my knowledge, I've never seen any of them. I mean, I could be way off on that number, but there is a bunch of different kinds of bees out here and across like the world that are like solitary bees and stuff like that. So it's more like a broad kind of thing, like honeybees being just one of like dozens of species are doing okay, but overall, like that whole bee pollinator thing, I guess that's the problem. Like overall, like a lot of species are dying.
Oh, dang.
And honeybees are doing so well because of people, but really like me and every other backyard beekeeper and giant apiary. There's a ton of people that raise bees professionally. So honeybees are doing okay. It's all these other little native bees that nobody even knows exist. Like those are the ones that are dying.
Yeah, I thought all bees were the same. So the honeybees are not the ones that are pollinating everything. They're just making honey.
Right. I mean, they definitely do pollinate, It's just they are a small percentage of bees,
Mm.
and there's just a ton more other kinds of bees that don't make honey, and all they do is pollinate. Or at
That's
least
their
they don't
job.
make any kind of honey that like we would want.
Like bumblebees, carpenter bees, they're pollinating most of the vegetation out there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And those ones are dying.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising, but yeah, there's like a ton of different ones. There's some sort of like there's a lot of them that I assumed were flies apparently that are actually bees.
What? Crazy,
Yeah, they're
crazy.
just weird looking flies, and I thought that's what they were. Nope, they're bees, and they go and pollinate stuff. And
What are they?
sure,
What are they thinking is killing them? Is it radio waves? Is it our cell phones? Is it Chinese wasp? What's killing these other bees?
dude, those Japanese hornets are terrifying, man. I've actually
those
seen
things
one
are-
of those out here.
you've seen
like,
one?
That's
They're supposed to be like that big.
Yeah, they're like 2.5 inches long,
What
and
the heck?
we hit this thing with like a piece of wood because we were working in a warehouse and it was flying
Uh-huh.
around in there. And we like smacked it down with a piece of wood. It was like hitting a rock, man. It was like whack.
It didn't
We're
die.
like, oh god, we got to kill this thing before it gets back up. So we're like, beating it to death.
So it's still moving
But,
once you hit it.
Oh, dude, we hit it with like a 2x4 or something that was up there in the rafters where it come buzzing around. But like port towns, man, we were in New Orleans working, and that New Orleans is a huge port. You got ships coming in from all over the world. Somewhere on a ship is going to be a creepy spider or a giant hornet or
A Chinese
some
hornet.
crazy looking lizard, and it's going to end up in whatever port they bring it to.
Holy moly! You hit it with the 2x4 and it didn't die. Those things are probably like genetically armored or something like that, and they're like weapons.
They are, man. Nuts.
Dang.
Yeah, far as we can tell, the really only thing that's killing the rest of the bees is the same thing that's jacking everybody up. You know what I mean? Like people just tossing pollution. You know, companies and stuff just tossing pollution into rivers,
Oh,
spraying
damn.
pesticides all over foods that they find out like 20 years from now, like, oh, sorry, it causes cancer. You know, like how many of those commercials have you seen? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you think a lot of yeah, I can imagine if it's causing cancer to humans, God knows what it's doing to all the insects and bees and animals that are touching those plants or fruits or vegetables. If the bees are trying to pollinate and then they're swimming basically in toxins, that could be a problem.
Like I've got to watch out because we do mosquito abatement out here. So there's little trucks a couple of times a week, during the summer, and they'll just ride around on the streets, just spraying into the ditches because, for everybody in California, there's not sidewalks unless you live in like a major city like New Orleans. If you live in the country like I do, ditches, like 6 foot deep.
Ditches.
I was checking my radio station and I drove off, and now my car's upside down in the ditch. Ditches.
Oh, damn.
So, yeah.
Holy moly.
So, yeah, they spray those ditches with the poison to kill the mosquitoes. So, we don't get like malaria every 15 minutes out here. But
Jeez.
that worries me because, like, my bees drink water from those ditches, so they're potentially drinking poison, and they
damn.
claim it doesn't do anything to the bees, but I'm like, yeah, but what if it doesn't do anything to the bees, but then they use part of that water in the honey making process and somehow it passes through them just fine, and like
You're eating
now
that
I've
honey.
got some new ailment
Third
they
eye
get
in
to
your
name after
forehead.
me.
Next thing you know.
Yeah,
Holy
so
moly.
we don't really let them spray like right here, where my bees are, and I've set them up little water things to make it easy for them to just be like, oh, we'll just go right here.
Yeah,
So,
shoot. All that's the
stuff
thing. You don't think about all the stuff that eventually is going to end up into your food production. It's going to end up you're going to end up eating it. And like you said, you don't know what it does to you till years later. And they find out you're all, that's why you're messed up and you freaking grew a tail or something like that. And what the heck? Crazy,
Then you
crazy.
get to be in that weird commercial talking about, if you've experienced mild death,
Mild death. What's mild about death?
What?
Holy moly! With the mask, you're like instead of talking about cigarettes, you're like, I had a apple one day, and ever since that apple, I have lost I lost half a lung eating an apple.
Right.
Holy
Walking
moly.
around like Darth Vader because of a Granny Smith apple somewhere.
Exactly. Oh man,
messed up.
crazy. What's new for beekeepers? What's making you do a lot of product reviews. What's the new products that are coming out that's going to make beekeepers life easier? I need to know because my friend Steve Vai, the guitar player, he does beekeeping, and I got to tell him any of the new stuff that's coming out.
New stuff for beekeeping. Honestly, just the better ventilated suits. Yeah, expensive, totally worth it.
So summer wear.
It's nice to feel a breeze instead of feel like you're in a hazmat suit and sweat and die.
Holy
So those are
moly.
awesome. I don't know, somewhere along the line, somebody made one of these little random like fans, like 2 prop fans that you can clip around
Oh
your
yeah,
neck.
I've seen those at Disneyland.
Yeah, well, I'm
Danny?
hearing that somebody else has made a bit more sturdy version that is being marketed for beekeepers. Like,
Oh.
put this on and then put your suit on.
Nice.
So I got to look out for that, but I haven't found
There
it
you
yet
go.
to review it. As soon as I do, believe you me, I am buying it because it's hot.
Yeah, make that video.
And other than that, I don't know, man. Beekeeping is such like an ancient kind of thing. It just boils down to like refining products that are already out there, like
Mm.
the extractors where you stick your frames in a big metal cylinder and it spins them, and that's how the honey comes out.
Oh, sweet.
Like, these have been around for hundreds of years. Like, I need to buy one because the way I had to do it is very labor intensive.
Are you just like scraping it off with your hand, or what do you do? Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I needed to harvest all that wax too. Is the only reason I really did that. Scraped it off with a big, silicone spatula. But that's hard. Like that's a rough way to do it. So I got to get modernized a little bit. But there's always something coming out like that. And I'm sure now they got one like, yeah, it's a Bluetooth extractor that takes black and white pictures of your bees while it's like getting the honey out or something. GPS, so you know what part of your garage you left it in.
Holy
So it'll be
moly.
something ridiculous like that.
How about fancy wear? Is there like a catalog of like different suits and different hats you can wear while you're beekeeping, stuff like that?
I'm looking for that right now, to be honest with you,
Nice.
because like I just bought a new suit because my suit was too hot, too hard to take care of. So I finally, decided I'll stop being a super cheapskate about it, and I'll actually see what it's like to buy like a fairly high quality suit. So I dumped a nice chunk of change, bought a nice suit, and gave it a trial run last weekend. And that thing was nice. I mean, it's still hot out here, but I didn't feel like I was gonna pass out while I was doing everything.
A little more ventilation.
So much more ventilation. It was nice. Every time a breeze came by, I was just like, stop working. Just stand there and feel it. It was great.
Enjoy the
The other
breeze.
suit had no ventilation at all.
Holy moly. You can tell the difference then.
Big time.
Crazy,
Big time.
crazy.
Totally worth it being like 3 times the price of the last one.
Holy moly. Awesome. Guys, if you want to know about beekeeping, if you want to know about photography, everything is on the YouTube channel. The Uneducated Photographer, Uneducated Man on YouTube, Uneducated Photographer on Instagram as well. Let me put his link up there real quick. Let's see. Copy. There's his YouTube channel. You guys can see that. Boom. There's his YouTube link. Whoops, no, it won't let me do that. Here, I'll do it over here. We'll do it right here. a guest on that part. All right, fantastic. There it is. There's his YouTube link. If you want to find out about bees or see this amazing photography in the outback of New Orleans, right across the river there in the beautiful swamps of Louisiana. My man, thank you so much for popping in.
Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely.
Always a blast.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great catching up with you, Mike. And we'll see you next time, my friend.
Take care, bro.
All right, guys. Juice Gang Gang, Juice Gang Gang. Stay thirsty, my friends, and not dangerous. Have a great one.